And we're joined now by the congressman from the 3rd Congressional District here in West Virginia, Evan Jenkins. Welcome back.
It's great to be here, Bray. Thank you.
So we're having a beautiful week across West Virginia, and boy, it's just a wonderful time of the year to be in the Mountain State.
I tell you, yesterday, Saturday, Bridge Day, it's a great day to be a West Virginian.
So let me ask you, you know, earlier this week we all pick up the paper or we listen to the 11 o'clock news, and the next thing you know, the President of the United States is rolling into Charleston, West Virginia. I never thought he would come here on his own.
Well, I tell you, we know from the elections that he's not very popular in West Virginia in terms of at the polls. And candidly, as you know, and you've been so kind to have me on the show to talk about the war on coal and all of our efforts in Washington to try to get our coal miners back to work in West Virginia. So his decision, we'll be anxious to see Wednesday. You know, they say, or he says, that he's coming to talk about the drug crisis in West Virginia and draw attention to that. The details apparently have not been released about exactly what he's coming to specifically talk about, or solutions to propose, or just simply talk about what we're doing in West Virginia on this issue. But he's coming, and we'll see what he has to say.
So when you think about the drug crisis, and we've had a lot of people talking about the drugs in West Virginia and what it's doing to our families and to our people. What's the number one thing that would help solve this?
Well, I will tell you, I have said it time and time again on a number of fronts. A good job solves a lot of problems. And as I have spent so much time in southern West Virginia, so devastated by the war on coal, you know, over 40% of our coal miners have lost their jobs in just the last 6 years. The war on coal is real. It has forced people to hit rock bottom. And candidly, what I'd love to hear the president say is come in on Wednesday and say the best effort, the best program to fix our drug problem is to get people back to work, and he's going to stop his war on coal. Now, I don't expect him to say that, but the numbers are stunning. As I just talked about, the number of lost jobs. You know we have a drug crisis. We are working tooth and nail to address it. I have helped lead the charge as a state legislator to outlaw synthetic cocaine and marijuana, to reclassify hydrocodone, empower the prescription drug monitoring program. You know, I started a facility with some dedicated people in Huntington to take care of newborn infants that are withdrawing after birth from drug exposure during pregnancy. But a good job solves a lot of problems. I think when you look at our unemployment rate in West Virginia, go back to 2008, we were much lower than the national average. Look at where we are today, the highest unemployment rate in the country, and we've got the highest overdose rate in the country.
You know, Evan, I'll tell you why I think you're exactly on the mark of what the problem is when you talk to Dr. Gupta or you talk to Dr. Clay Marsh at WVU, the first thing they say is whether it's a drug, whether it's a health issue, a psychological issue, the most important thing for anybody is to have a purpose in life. And that starts with a family, and it starts with a job to provide for that family.
People want hope.
Yes.
They want to believe in feeling good about themselves and providing for their family. This war on coal, this unemployment, the policies from Barack Obama, and I'm going to be pretty clear about it, which has decimated our coal industry and our coal jobs. People are hitting rock bottom. And when you lose your home, when you lose your car, when you lose your family, you lose hope. And tragically, we know, because I've spent a lot of time talking to coal miners and others, that tragically people sometimes make bad decisions and end up turning to drugs because they've lost hope. We need to restore hope and opportunity.
Right, and that's where, frankly, this next election is going to be so important here in West Virginia, because West Virginia is going to have a choice. They're going to have a choice between what appears to be a Republican Party that wants to eliminate the hurdles to creating businesses and jobs and hope in West Virginia versus a party that's been in power for the last 82 years and is basically saying we think government can fix everything. Government can't fix this. Now, government's created it, and government creates far more than they solve. But now we've got to get government out of the way. What we can do is create laws to make ourselves look like other states.
President Obama is going to come into West Virginia, and he may be coming with a bunch of resources. What I would like to do, rather than a government check, put a regular paycheck in the pockets of hard-working West Virginia. Let me give you a statistic, and this is from the President's own Health and Human Services professionals research. The incidence of illegal drug use for unemployed is 18%. The illegal drug use for employed individuals is 8%. You want to cut illegal drug use in half? Wouldn't that be quite a policy? Guess what? Put somebody to work.
Absolutely, but don't make it a government handout job. It's got to be a real private sector job.
We know these coal jobs, the average paycheck for a coal miner in West Virginia is $60,000, $70,000+ a year. Let's put a few of those paychecks in their pockets and not just a government assistance check.
I think you have identified the problem, and absolutely we've got to find the solution.
Well, let's hopefully he'll come in and say he's stopping the war on coal.
So Congressman, one of the things I want to ask you, as you go around the state, we're seeing all of this, not only in West Virginia, but I think across the country. There's a real expression of dissatisfaction with Washington.
Yes.
And people are saying Washington's not hearing us. And what are you taking from that, and what do you think needs to change?
Well, candidly, the public is right. I'm frustrated too. We have passed over 200 bills on the House floor. Some really good things, small business tax credits, things to help individual workers, protect pensions. We've passed a lot of things on the House floor, but you know, you've got that cloture rule in the Senate. You've got to have a bunch of Democrats in the Senate willing to work with Republicans to pass things out of the Senate and get it to the President's desk for signing. You know, nobody wants to hear a lecture on the constitutional framework and the rules of the Senate, but we are passing, as I said, over 200 bills that would help put people back to work, get our country and West Virginia moving again in a lot of different areas. But unfortunately, there's not enough Democrats in the Senate willing to join with the Republicans and allow the vote to come for final passage.
Well, and somehow we've got to change that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what the solution is, but Washington has lost its way in serving the American people. It's serving special interests.
Look what's going on even in the House leadership battle, trying to work to come up with a new speaker. And I'm hoping as an outcome, we're going to address some of the public's frustration, because I will tell you, I'm very frustrated as well. We've got to start getting stuff done. We've got to get our country moving again. We've got to get our people back to work, and I'm working every day to do that.
Congressman, I know you are. I guess my question is, will you be there when President Obama...
I'm not going to be there. We'll actually, we've got a full week in Washington.
Oh, that's right. You guys are back in...
We are in full session, and so I'll be up there fighting the good fight in Washington for the people of the 3rd Congressional District.
All right. Congressman Evan Jenkins, thank you for stopping by, and thank you for all you're doing for the great state of West Virginia. We'll be right back after